Hi, everybody. It's Adele Frizzell here with
Tiffany here, and we are bringing you a special guest today. This is Miss Debbie. Debbie is part of one of our programs that is wrapping up a little bit, and she's going to bring you guys some special treats, some insider viewpoints, if you will, about the Transformer program and where she felt successful and how it has challenged her and changed her lifestyle a little bit.
Yeah, that's a great intro, Tiffany.
Hey. Oh, and Barbie is logging on right now as well. So you guys are going to get that double whammy from those guest speakers today.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, well, hi, Barbie. Transformer program, everybody graduates next week. And Barbie's in that program and Debbie's in the program. Hi, Barbie. Thanks for joining us. You'll have to unmute yourself. Yeah. All right. Well, let's just begin with a brief introduction then. Thanks so much for taking time out of your day to chat with everybody here. Debbie, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, and then Barbie, we'll hear from you next. I would love to just begin with maybe who you are, if you want to share your age, and what brought you into the Transformer program.
Okay. Like Adele said, my name is Debbie, and I live in San Diego, California, and I am a grandmother. I have 3 adult children and two grandchildren, and I'm an HR professional. And what brought me into the Transformer program is wanting to finally not just lose the weight, because I lose the weight all the time, but I want to keep it off. That was what really drove me, and I really am confident this time I'll keep it off. I'm super excited about that.
That's awesome. Thanks, Debbie. Would never know you were a grandma. Oh my goodness. Aww. Wow. Okay, so Barbie, do you want to just introduce yourself to the group and share a little bit about who you are, what you do, and what brought you to the Transformer program?
Sure. I'm 52 years old. I'm also a grandma, and I'm also in HR. My husband and I just actually sold our business, and so I'm excited on this new journey into just being a grandma and whatever the afterlife of selling the business is going to look like. I just got tired of the yo-yo dieting, and went through all the fad diets, and I've been on the Simeon protocol before. And I really see that this program was going to be more than just following a diet. Like Debbie had said, it's easy to lose the weight. It's the hardest part comes afterwards. Mm-hmm. And that's where I thought that this program fills in the gap.
Yeah. That's something we pride ourselves on. We're just not another diet. It's all about mindset, behavior change, how to keep the weight off when the diet ends, building a different relationship with food, maybe even with your body and your thoughts and things like that. So it's great. You came to the program for the right reasons. I would love to know a little bit more, like, what were you struggling with other than the yo-yo dieting, or what were you trying to create or attract or shift when you first started working with us?
I could start. I mean, I really do think it was wanting to once and for all stop the nonsense, stop dieting, and I want to live at an appropriate weight and not just have a free-for-all for 6 months and then, oh no, now I need to lose the weight and it go restrictive and have inappropriate thoughts about food, like I'm doing good, I'm doing bad. I just want to live in, just a healthy mindset all the time and maintaining the weight. That really was, what I wanted. And I want to feel comfortable and confident all the time, mm-hmm. not just right after I lose the weight and then that slowly whittles, that confidence. Mm-hmm. I want to be consistent and stable, really is what it is, mm-hmm. And at any given time, if something suddenly I'm requested to do something, I don't want to be like, oh no, I can't go do that, or I can't join that event because I don't feel comfortable.
And I
wanna
remember
always be.
that's great. I mean, I remember in the beginning of the program, you talking about how you work with, you do television shows. Is it weekly?
Yeah.
About pet adoptions, and you really didn't like people, you didn't want the camera showing you below the waist.
So true. That was a catalyst. I'm a passionate animal advocate. I volunteer at a center, and I have since 2015, local center here, Helen Woodward. And they recently, back in October, asked if I would go on live TV, the local news here in San Diego, for all of San Diego County to see, and bring a little puppy on and talk about the center and represent the center, which is wonderful. And I love doing it. But I've been very nervous that they're going to pan down from here up. I felt okay, although now look even better because I lost a lot of weight. But I was really afraid, and this is what I'm talking about. I don't want to be afraid that somebody's going to see me. I didn't want them to pan down my full body, or the puppy would want to go down on the ground, and all of a sudden the camera's on my full body, and I'm like, so it was a catalyst. I just wanted to. I want to feel confident.
You want to be able to step into the spotlight more and not hide. Yeah.
Yes.
Own it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And I think really when it comes to stepping into the spotlight, it's either you get completely comfortable with your body as is, or you change it and you get comfortable with it. And some people, it's a journey, and you can do both. You can become more accepting of your body as it is, regardless of the weight it is. But if you can't, and if you struggle, then the only solution is to change it so that you feel more proud and confident and able to step in front of the camera more. Yeah.
So what about you, Barbie? What are you thinking that brought you to this program, and where were you when you first started the coaching?
Well, my motivation wasn't a cute puppy. I love puppies. Mine was actually, I have, this is my second marriage. Between us, I had 3 girls, he had 3 boys, the whole Brady Bunch scenario going. But now they're starting to get married. I'm going to have 3 weddings this year, May, July, and January. And I'm kind of in between of where you said you either are comfortable with your body or you don't like it. I was kind of okay with it, but I think what I was getting from other people made me feel not okay with it. And then I also saw myself in a picture, and I'm like, what happened to me? Because I'm like, it just is that slow creep, right? And so to me, when my clothes were starting to fit tighter, all my quote fat clothes, that you always keep on hand, my closet was getting smaller. And so I'm like, okay, this is not healthy. I've done this before, and now I've let myself, just like one day you just realize what happened. And then I'm not healthy. I have a granddaughter as well, trying to keep up. We moved to Knoxville, which has a lot of hiking trails and things like that. And this last summer, before winter started, I would go out, but I would have to stop all the time because I couldn't keep up. I was out of breath, and I'm like, my husband and I talked, and because he needs to lose weight too, that we want to be healthy for each other, explore all that Tennessee has to offer, and keep up with our grandkids. And you can't do that being overweight. So that's what really motivated me. And I'm just so happy that I found this program, because especially with the sale of the business, the stress, a lot of times you think, I don't have time for this, because you're going through a stressful situation. But even if I had it to do again, I would still go through this program no matter all the stress I had, because I'd probably be 15 pounds heavier, because I'd been eating through all of it, rather than going through your program and learning to identify the signals and the and my why. That was my biggest thing, is I was able to unlock stuff up here as to my why. So that's why I think I'm not going back, because I've achieved that. And even because I couldn't even always, because of all the other things, I couldn't stay caught up on some things, and I was falling behind. Tiffany and Adele never gave up on me. And I so appreciate that, because I was struggling there for a while, but I was able to overcome it. And had you not been such good coaches, I might have just said, you know what, I just need to wait till this time in my life is a better time. But you, along the way, and the encouragement, it made me feel like, you know, it is my time, and I need to make my time my time. So,
I love this. And it
again,
actually
I really
reminded me.
appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank
I love
you.
it. It reminded me of something that you specifically went through, and I hope that you don't mind that I share this. But Barbie actually ended up breaking her toe early on in the program, and was in a walking boot, on a chair. Actually, you were on a scooter, weren't you, for a while there? And previously, you sent me an email and you said, previously, I would have just stopped. I would have quit. But I didn't do that this time. And because you didn't do that, even though you couldn't commit to the program like you wanted to, one of the things that we recommend is that our clients try to walk for 30 minutes a day. You were just getting into the habit of doing that. And then bam, you're like, I can't walk. So I love the fact that you actually reached out to me and you're like, this just happened. I don't know what to do. And I was like, well, let's meet in the middle. Let's find a way to help you continue moving forward. Would you say that that was one of your biggest struggles that you faced during this program?
Yeah, because I was like, you know, you're all pumped up, it's new, and you're like feeling good, you're seeing the scale drop, and right, we're just getting into these habit forming things, and I couldn't do anything. And at first I thought, okay, well, you know, I could swim. I have access to a pool. I can do that kind of stuff. But when they had to end up putting a pin in my foot, oh no, I couldn't even take a shower hardly, you know? And so I'm like, this is going to be devastating to what I'm trying to do. Finally, you know, I'm setting time apart for myself, and this happens. But I'm really proud of myself in that it's the first time I'm really good at starting stuff, especially diets, but really bad at ending well. But through your program, I've learned that there really is never an end. And that's one of the things that I realized, that there is no end. And like, I have to just pull up my big girl panties and just deal with the matter at hand. And you've always encouraged me that even if it's just a small loss or a non-scale even event, I'm sorry if you're hearing my dogs bark, that it's still progress. And you still encourage me. And that, I think, is what kept me going.
That's great.
Wow, that's powerful. Thank you. I think, you know, there's usually some trigger or catalyst or event for people that makes them want to lose the weight. Like they see a photo of themselves, or for Tiffany, it was like Christmas and she didn't want photos. And Debbie, for you, it was like, oh gosh, I don't want the camera panning down, you know. And it's like, there's always you've got weddings, Barbie, but you have to get to the deeper why for you to be there for the long haul. Because otherwise you get the initial inspiration and you get started. But what when the wedding's over, then what? You don't have a compelling reason to stay at maintenance, to take care of your health, to do the habits. So you need a deeper why. And I think you sort of unearthed that over the 3 months, what your deeper why was to lose the weight and get fitter and stronger and healthier. I love it. Well, I'm curious, how many times have you done HCG in the past?
That's better than me, way better than me. I kind of don't even know if I remember. I think it was 7.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is so ridiculous.
Don't be embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed, Debbie. Our average client has done it 5.5 times. You know, we have some success losing weight. And people just remember that and they
Mhm.
forget, oh yeah, but it came back on. So really, how
Right.
successful are you?
And that's my thing is I don't consider that as a success. Let me rephrase, a complete success. It was a success losing the weight, but it wasn't a complete success. Complete success is consistent stability in my weight and my health. And that's another thing that's what's really paramount to me is my internal health as well. It's not just the external. External is nice and that's bonus, but I want to keep my internal numbers good, especially as I age. So that's just another critical component. But yeah, I'm just starving for maintaining well. And that's what drew me to this. I worked with HCG Chica. She was awesome and followed all of her information that she provided. I did her after program as well. But that's what led me to this. But this I think is so much better, I think, for life because of the macros tracking.
Mhm.
That was huge to me, and the freedom that you have with that. So, I think that's what's really going to drive that consistency and that stability going forward. So maybe I never have to do that protocol again.
Mhm. Mhm.
But even the
Well,
protocol this time was so much better because of macros tracking
Yeah.
and the coaching, right?
Thank you.
It's
Yeah,
it's
because you get more food on our protocol and
Mhm.
flexibility. Simeon's, it's like, here's a list of 20 foods that are approved that you can eat and do not stray beyond this. It's so rigid. Yeah, and it doesn't teach you how to eat for real life because, of course, if you
No.
only eat from a list of 20 foods, how are you learning to eat out, travel, eat for real life? The more a diet resembles real life, the easier real life becomes. So, Barbie, how many rounds of HCG did you do before joining the Transformer program?
I did 2 3-month each. And then I also, I didn't actually use the HCG Chica program, but I found her through Googling while I was on the HCG, different things. And that's how I found the website. And then ultimately led me to find Adele and read her articles and things like that I read about. And that's what led me to the Transformer program. I mean, I totally understand HCG Chica, and what she's doing is helping other people. But for my personal, some people can probably do that and say, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
But I needed to unlock this, and that's what your program, why it's so different from everybody else, because I think, as Debbie stated, it's easy to follow a list of foods and lose the weight. But if you're not learning what got you there to begin with and deal with those issues, that was key to me in this whole program, was unearthing the why. And is it fun to look at your faults and all that? I mean, who wants to do that? But in order to dig out the root of why you're doing what you do with regards to food in your relationship, I feel totally freed of food. I went on vacation. What overweight girl goes on vacation and comes back thinner? I mean, I was able to do that. I mean, I've had so many off-scale wins. So it's more than just what you see on the scale and following your macros. It's so much more than that.
Mhm.
Thank you. Thank you. I think that's the beauty of this type of program and with working with a coach is you can really dig deep. When you're buying something off the internet, I mean, it serves a purpose for some people for sure. And I have to say, HCG Chica is wonderful. She got me started. When I went on the HCG diet and I was struggling, I did Google searches. I remember watching her interviews with people to stay motivated and keep my mind in the game. It was a really great start. And also let's agree, not everyone can afford the Transformer program. Not
Mhm.
everyone is motivated to make those internal changes because it requires a lot of work to shift your belief systems, to change your habits. And some people are just not there in their journey. I feel like they're not in enough pain yet to really, no, but it's true, right? Like when the pain of remaining the same is greater than the pain of actually changing, then you will make the change. You'll do whatever it takes to make those changes because you're like, I don't want to keep doing this mistake over and over and over.
I mean, that's my exact truth. Honestly, I was I'm not going to say I was comfortable with where I was in my body before I lost weight, but I was not uncomfortable enough to where I was ready to make those sacrifices that were going to be needed in order to make those changes. So I had to feel that pain.
Do what it takes. You know, they're not like, oh, I don't want to track my macros. Look, if you don't want to track your macros, don't do this program. You know, if you don't want to do the lessons, don't do this program. The calls are such an important part of the program. Wouldn't you agree? Like the calls are so important for your mindset. It just would not be the same program if there weren't the weekly calls.
Well, and I feel like
I wasn't able to be on a lot of the calls, but I did go back and listen to them.
Yeah. And that's fine.
I still got a lot out of it, even though I wasn't personally live with them. It helped me identify, there was one gal that said something that resonated with me, that she had to finally realize she had to give up time with other people in order to be successful. And I was like, you know, I wish I would have heard that like a week ago, because I said no and missed the call for something because I didn't want to inconvenience somebody else. But in turn, I inconvenienced myself, you know, by missing the call. And I'm like, okay, I got to stop doing this, you know. So it just helps hearing other people's struggles, that they're going through the same thing. And it's not just, you know, you think like, I get to thinking like I wouldn't even get my nails done because I didn't feel like, I don't know, not that I wasn't worthy so much, well, maybe, just I just didn't feel good about myself. So what is doing my nails gonna help me do? But you know, now I got my nails done, I got some lashes, I'm like feeling really good. So
that's great.
I think listening to other women kind of help you as well.
Yeah, that community, it's a big part of this program, is just having that support system of like-minded women who are going through the same thing as you.
I completely agree. The camaraderie, knowing that you're not alone, the way that you're thinking and the struggles that you're having, other people are having the same thing. You're not some weirdo with your struggles. It's like we're all walking this journey. We're all sharing the same thing. And then we glean from one another. And then all the content that's provided outside of the calls, but within the calls too, is just invaluable. It's great. It's welcome.
You know, one thing we haven't talked about, I love all these shares. We've talked a lot about a non-scale victories, which for us really should be the focus. But y'all came in to lose some weight. Do you want to share how much weight you've lost, or maybe what your body fat percentage, if you feel comfortable?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm because I'm so excited about it. It's super cool. And again, I emphasize, I've been here before. I need to stay here. And that is my goal. And I'll continue partnering with you guys. But so I came in at 158.6, which is really heavy for me. I think that was, I used to, in my early 20s, I was 180. I'm only 5'4", but I was 180 in my early 20s. And I never wanted to get there again because it was just unhealthy, really unhealthy. They talk about the internal numbers. That was a problem. My doctor was saying, you need to lose weight. What are you going to do about that? So I was afraid as I went to almost 160, I was like, you know what? I'm scared that I'm going to keep going, because it was gradually just increasing. And as of this morning, I'm 130. Ooh,
Wow.
Yeah.
So I lost, what is that? 26 and a half pounds, which is a
Wow.
lot.
Yeah.
And then what's really critical to me and very important is the body fat percentage, because it's one thing to lose the weight, but you want to retain the muscle that you have. You don't want to lose the muscle while you're losing the weight. So I went from 31.7% body fat down to 19.
Wow.
And
You're
I've
in the
seen-
athletic range now. Athletes, less than college girls.
Like,
And you're 62?
I'm not 62 yet, 61.
61. Okay.
I am
All right.
61.
Wow.
But yeah, and I saw some crazy numbers this time with body fat. I saw 16.5, right, Tiffany? I was like, what?
Yeah.
16.5. I've seen 18.4, but I'm averaging 19, which is really good. I like to be 130 or a little bit lower in my pounds, and I like to be sub 20 for body fat. And both of them are important.
And that's why your biceps are popping. Because like Debbie sent us a photo of her doing a flex, and that girl's got some muscle. Let me tell you. Wow. Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
Coming after your competition, Debbie. I'm working on it.
Okay.
So Barbie, do you want to share?
Sure. I like the first time we had the group meeting, I was looking around, panning all the people. I'm like, oh, I'm like one of the heaviest people here. Like Debbie looks super skinny already. Like, why are you even in this program? You look so much thinner than me. And
Waste up.
so I'm like, okay, just run your own race is what I kept telling myself.
Exactly. And I want to preface this with, we never share people's body weights in the group. So I don't want people to think, oh, are you telling each other what you weigh in the calls? No, that's all private information. So anyway, okay, continue, Barbie.
So I decided just run my own race, stay in my own lane kind of thing. But I've lost, since we started January 21st, I've lost 32.4 pounds.
Wow.
And 7.8% body fat.
That's
so
fantastic.
I went from a tight size 18. Like I said, that's one of the motivators where my bigger clothes were like, oh, I am not going up another size.
Yep.
Down to, I just bought size 12s.
Wow.
So I'm super excited.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
You no longer have to shop in the larger section. I remember when I used to have to go to the bigger girl stores. They don't really do that anymore. There's kind of a mix, right? But I remember being so happy that I didn't have to walk into that store where it was size 16 and over. Wow. Congratulations, Barbie. It's been a bumpy ride for you. Wow. Okay.
And also I didn't have to, I've been approached by somebody before. I like the store. I can't even remember the name of it. It's like a boutique place. And they used to have all the sizes in one store, but now because they want to offer more, it's like they have one side is like the bigger women's size, and then the other side is like the smaller, sizes. So I just happened to be in the smaller sizes. I was just checking it out, and she politely told me that if I was looking for something, I could go in the other, on the other side. I'm like, what? What if I was looking for somebody else? You don't have no idea.
Wow.
So that was one of the things that, like I said earlier, that I was kind of in between. I really didn't feel bad about myself, but I didn't really feel good about myself. But those people made me feel bad about myself. And it was a motivator as well. That, gosh. And so when I went this last time, I went over to the other side and I fit stuff that was in the other side. I just wanted to say, where is that girl? Because I want her.
Hey, you remember me? I'm shopping on this side now.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you ever have the experience where you went for a size you thought would fit and it was too big and you're like, whoa, I actually need to go down a size?
Yeah, with these jeans I just bought, I thought I had a 14 on, and when I took it off, I was like, oh my gosh, that's a 12. That's a 12.
So
it was
awesome.
I was happy dancing in the dressing room. So
Awesome.
Barbie, what about shopping in your closet? That was a huge thing for me. That's
oh
a huge
yeah.
non-scale, right? Non-scale victory,
Mhm.
because I've got all these great clothes and I didn't want to go buy new ones, and all of a sudden you can shop in your closet. That's
Yeah.
huge for me.
The only thing is I do have to go buy, I've had to go buy new shoes because I wore out one shoe for because I was in that,
With your toe.
with my
Oh,
toe, I was
yeah.
on the scooter. So I noticed when I was putting my shoes back on that they like didn't feel right. So I had to go buy some new shoes.
I'm curious, ladies, like a lot of people struggle with the scale. And were there points in the program where the scale wasn't moving as fast as you'd like? And how did you deal with that?
I can speak to that. The scale in me. I am a believer in the scale because it keeps you grounded and realistic, but you also can't be like really married to it and let your life and your day be dependent on what that darn scale says. And the way that I overcome that, because you have gains where you just do not even understand why, or you have a stall and they can go for days. And you just have to, for me, I have to, it's very much a cognitive process where I have to just practice the pause and go, okay, don't panic, don't freak out, don't, decide this isn't working. Just trust the process, trust the coaches, trust the program. You're not doing anything wrong. If you're blowing it, if you're eating crazy stuff and drinking crazy stuff, then okay, that's a reality check for you. And that's why that scale's saying that. But you could be doing really good, following everything very well. And your body is just in its journey, in its process. And so that's how I got over that, was just knowing I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Trust. And then next thing you know, it's like, you come to the end of the program and you've, accomplished quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Barbie, do you remember the scale not moving, like, or going in a different direction and getting concerned?
I really am super good generally about, like I said, I can follow any plan and lose the weight. And so I really didn't have, until I got onto the maintenance where it kind of jumps up and down a little bit more. But the weeks that, from being on Simeon before, like I would get significant jumps like every day. And I remember one week I didn't do very good, but then Tiffany pointed out that like overall in the week I lost like 10 inches. And I'm like, what? I didn't even realize that. Just because I was so dialed in on what the scale said each day. So now that I'm on maintenance, there was a day that my sister hadn't been in a couple years, and we went out, and I didn't go hog wild, but I ended up going over my calorie intake. But I thought, okay, you know what? It's okay. And over the course of the week, I still lost. So I just have to trust the process and not focus on the daily, whatever the scale tells me.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what, if I can add, there's another thing that helped also was knowing the body fat also. Also, how many times can I say also? But it's not just the pounds number, but it's also the body fat, because you can see a change in that and you're like, I'm losing body fat, even though the scale went up a little bit. And then also your inches, your measurements, which you guys require that we do that, regularly too. So it's not just our number of pounds on the scale, it's everything. It's how do your clothes fit? How are you feeling in your skin? Are people noticing? So all of those things combined really help too.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. I'm curious, how has the Transformer program changed your eating habits?
I eat a lot more healthier. I mean, I make sure, I'm thinking about protein, the colors on my plate, thinking ahead, if I'm going out that night or whatever, thinking about what to scale back on breakfast or lunch to allow me to hit my macros, for the evening. I'm not a social drinker, so that really is not a problem for me, but dessert has always been, not that I had a dessert all the time, but I'm to the point where I'm okay having a few bites, because those few bites keep me from feeling like I can't have something. And actually those few bites are satisfying. Before I was thinking you had to wait till after your food digests and all that. But one of the tips that I've learned from the Transformer program is, if you're going to have dessert, just do it right after when you're full, right? Because then if you wait, then you are going to eat the whole thing, you know. But if you're full, you just have those couple bites, then you're satisfied, and then I just forget about it and go on. So yeah, that's, like I said, I can't say enough of how my eating habits have improved significantly.
It seems like you're mindful, but at the same time, you're more relaxed. And it's such a balance beam, really.
Yeah.
That's great. Debbie, how about you? How has it changed your eating habits
You
or
know,
thoughts around food?
yeah, I would say the word I apply to it is freedom. Freedom, both mentally and in what I choose to eat, what I can eat, and enlightenment as well. And it's all, you know, I know I keep mentioning macros tracking, but that just is such a key for me, because I just feel like I have freedom to choose what I want to eat. And I just have to, you know, keep track of it. And if I know that I'm going to go out to dinner, which could require a little more calories, I'm just a little more careful during the course of the day. That was just key. And also the enlightenment was realizing what I gravitate to. And I think a lot of us gravitate towards high carb, and then second would be fat, and the third would be protein. So with this, it's switched, and our bodies do function better when we have the higher protein, for all the reasons that you said, all the science-based reasons that you say, which I cannot articulate, but
Protein important.
But
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if I let myself just, and what was interesting too, and the freedom that I have with my coach, Tiffany, my coach, I find myself, if I'm doing bad, and I got to get away from that. If I'm making choices that don't align with my goals.
I love it. I love how you reframe that. Yeah.
Yes. I don't want to be honest about it. I want to hide from it. And I realize that's just not something that is valuable to me. And I'm in a no judgment zone. Tiffany wants me, and you, but Tiffany was my direct coach. She wants me to succeed. How can she know what's going on if I'm dishonest? And so I was really honest with what I would put down. And sometimes it would shock me, like, oh my gosh, look at that carb content, when I had kind of a free for all. It was like, whoa, carb content, and then second fat, and then the protein's like there.
Yeah, but the great thing about how honest you were throughout this program is that you would message me and you'd be like, it was not a great week for me. And I would be like, what are you talking about? Look at X, Y, and Z. You know, there's always a way. Yeah, you might have gone over here. However, look at everything else that you accomplished in this time frame. It's not just one simple portion. It's all of the components working together that determines whether or not you're going to be successful in the program. So
you don't have to be perfect.
No.
Yeah.
And
consistency 80% of the time, you're rocking it.
Yeah. And that was such a key too, is that, and that's what Barbie and I are talking about, is the mental wellness that we get from this too, and learning how to see things different, view things different, instead of you're bad. Because then what happens if we use things like that in our minds? You know, you're bad, you screwed up. Then I want to go into, okay, whatever, forget about it. I'm just going to ruin it for the whole day, weekend, whatever. But with this, it's like, no, it's okay, because like Tiffany said, look at all the other things that I've done, and look how balanced out for the week. She would always level set.
It's so easy to be self-critical and to focus on all the things we aren't doing. And that's where having a coach who really cares, who can and is knowledgeable, can point out, look at all your wins. And maybe in giving your coach, giving you that grace means eventually you can give that grace to yourself, because you see it modeled, you know. A bad coach would shame you. A bad coach would say, you know, you just got to follow the plan and then you'll get the results you want. But we're not like that. So
I think it was good too. At the same time that I'm going through this program, I have a lady in my small group at church who is going through a program. I think it's like Optiva or something like that.
Mhm.
It's some kind of like prepackaged meal stuff, but then she can have her own meals, and she has a coach and all that. And I went out to dinner with her, and she was like a maniac. I mean, like with, I can't have this, I can't have that, we have to eat by 6, and like all these like rules. And I'm thinking, like, I hope that wasn't me once upon a time, because she was not very polite to the waitress with all of her, you know, she actually asking, can you weigh this out and then only give me 3 ounces? You know, I'm like, okay, that's kind of crazy. But all these rules that she was laying out, and I was thinking, I'm so glad that I'm in the program that I am, because I think one of the first things that I've heard you say, Adele, was no food is bad.
Yes.
And it's like other coaches and other programs that like label the good food and bad food that you have to apply. But what I love about this program is you get to decide what you eat as long as it's within your macros, so that you're going to actually enjoy. I mean, I might not be eating at first as much as I would like to, or, you know, when I go to the restaurant, you normally might want the pasta, but now I have to like maybe choose something else, but the food is good. So it's just a different mindset of, hey, I get to choose what I'm eating, and no food is off limit as long as, you know, it's within reason. And you talk about when you have a craving, sometimes you just need to fix that craving so you'll quit focusing on it, instead of these other programs that, like, you know, where a coach would like say, no, what are you doing? And you know, like, you're going to mess up your whole program, instead of encouraging, you know, like Tiffany has done, and through your webinars and your information, that, you know, we're all going to slip up. I mean, and even you, Adele, I really appreciate your honesty in that you still have to use MyFitnessPal and, you know, portion control and things like that, where a lot of other coaches see themselves as here, and you're here trying to get there, where like we're all here. And I really appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you. And I do want to say, if you wanted the pasta, you could have the pasta. Just have half the pasta and take half home.
I love how you say pasta.
Pasta. But I really appreciate that, Barbie, very much. Yeah. You know, we're coming up on almost an hour, and I could make this a 2-hour thing, but I think it might be good to see if people have had any questions in the Facebook group, and so we can answer them. And I am wondering what advice you would give to people, to anyone who's considering taking this program.
So real quick, there are not any questions, but there have been some comments congratulating you guys and cheering on your successes that you've had throughout the program.
Thank you. Thank you.
So let's say somebody's on the fence about taking this program. What would you tell them? What would you tell them they need to do to be successful?
To be successful in the program, I think you have to be committed to the program, and you have to be willing to, you know, Barbie, you said it really well earlier. You have to be really willing to go there inside yourself and figure out your why, and figure out what is causing you to have to, you know, what caused you to gain the weight, or in my case, what causes me to gain the weight over and over again and not be able to keep it off, and being willing to dig in there and do that, and just and also, like I said, being committed to the program, to the calls, to the lessons, to complete honesty with yourself, to tracking, to following the nutritional guidelines, your macros. I would say you have to be prepared to do that. If not, then it's not worth your money. If you're not willing to put everything into it, then there are many other really great programs out there, I guess, that compare. But there are other programs out there. But I mean, I really am passionate about this one. I think it's worth it, but you need to give it your all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's other great diet programs. This is more about
Transformation
from the inside out. Yeah.
It's the educational aspect of it, the teaching things that other programs don't teach. They just say, if you want to get these results, do X, Y, and Z. Where we say, if you want to get these results, here's how you do it. This is why this works. And now do X, Y, and Z.
Yes.
Yeah. And see if that feels right for you. Yeah.
Yep.
How about
Yeah,
you,
you're
Barbie?
not going to get, you won't be successful in this program if you need somebody to push you every step of the way and to tell you exactly what to eat, when to eat, or you will fail in this program. Because even though I got behind a little, I got motivated by somebody not giving up on me when I probably would have gave up on myself. So you really have to be, like we said, willing to find out your whys, but then also willing to, even when you make excuses to yourself of why you're not doing this or that. I mean, I can make excuses to myself all day long and they sound pretty good. But you have to just keep yourself committed and accountable to the program no matter what, because Adele and Tiffany is not going to give up on you. And you'll fail if you give up on yourself, basically. Mm-hmm. Because like I said, I was one of those ones that, I know Adele said, don't want to get behind, but things just happened in my life, but they're saying, pointing the finger, come on, you can do it, and I appreciate that, because otherwise I probably would have said, okay, you know what? All right. And I would have walked away. So if you want somebody that will come alongside you and help you, truly help you and be invested in you, I don't think you're going to get that from any other diet.
Thank you. Do you have anything to add, Tiffany?
No, I think that it's very important to realize that at the end of the day, nobody else can show up for you. You have to show up for yourself. And if you're not going to show up for yourself, then you're probably not going to ever get where you want to be in life. And that's for life in general, not just weight loss. It's for absolutely every single category of life. So just show up for yourself and you'll be fantastic.
I wasn't a perfect pupil, I admit it, but I did it.
And you don't have to be perfect.
Yeah, no such thing as perfection.
Exactly.
We're all flawed.
Is there anything else you'd like to add before we sign off today?
I just want to thank Tiffany and Adele, and I encourage anybody that's listening out there that, was where I was 30 some pounds ago, just to be kind to yourself and take time to realize that you're worth it, because it didn't happen to me until I got into this program and got into my whys.
Beautiful.
What she said, that was well articulated. It's like, yeah, no, I think this program is outstanding. I got so much out of it. And I really feel like I am set for what I really, really am striving to do, is be consistent and maintain this weight, not gain it back again. And with all the tools and with just the self-motivation that I have now, I feel very confident that I'll be able to accomplish that. And I thank you guys so much. And anyone who's out there considering the program, and this sounds like an advertisement. I'm so sorry, I get salesy sometimes.
We weren't paid to do this.
They didn't prompt me or script me, but this is just, I'm passionate about this. And when I'm passionate, I get salesy.
Oh, we appreciate it. You know?
I'll just say this. I'll just say this one thing one more time. I know that guys, you always tell me thank you so much in my inbox, and my response is always, "Hey, I'm just here to support you. You're the one doing the work."
100%.
So
You say that all the time, but it's like we're just, I think, Barbie, you can attest to this too. We're so filled with gratitude for everything that we have accomplished through this and learned through this. And so we do find ourselves just like, thank you. But you do always level set me. It's like, no, we're here supporting you, walking alongside you. You've done the work. And I go,
You're the ones doing the push-ups. Yeah.
That's right. Oh, I forgot.
Well, we're so grateful for you for coming here today and sharing your journeys with us, and for all the nice things that you said. And it's been absolutely wonderful working with you these last few months. So, and thank you, Tiffany. You're just an awesome coach.
Yes, I agree. Yes. You're not done with me yet, because I want to go through the
I know,
new
right?
program.
I'll see you guys on the other side. That new
Exactly.
All righty, ladies. Enjoy the rest of your day, and thanks again for your time.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, ladies.